everyone. We just wanted to create a video for you just to explain a bit of information about the Key Stage 1 SAT. So obviously Year 2 is a SAT year, so we just wanted to share some information about what that entails and what your child will be doing later this year.
Okay, so the overview of the assessment. So as you are aware, at the end of Year 2, children are assessed, and they are assessed in 3 categories. So it's working towards the expectation, working at the expectation, or working at greater depth in relation to those Year 2 skills of the national curriculum. Now, we work really hard, obviously, throughout the year to achieve those high expectations. And then at the end of the year, alongside the SATs, we will make some teacher judgments, which is reported to you, and we will say whether your child is working towards, working at, or working at a greater depth level.
So just as an overview, you can see here that we've got 2 papers for reading, we've got 2 papers for SPAGs, the first one being spelling, second one being focusing on grammar and punctuation. And then for maths, we've got an arithmetic paper and a reasoning paper as well. And these will all take place in May. So there's 6 in total that your child will be doing.
Okay, so the reading assessment, it consists of 2 separate papers. So there's a paper 1 and a paper 2. Paper 1, it consists of a combined reading prompt and an answer booklet. So this paper is very accessible to all the children, and it includes a list of useful words and some practice questions. And we introduce the context and the types of questions to the children, so they are very familiar with this type of assessment, and it is something that we do complete in school. Now you'll see there, it says that the paper should take about approximately 30 minutes to complete, but we don't strictly time this, so we will allow your child, as much time as they need. Paper 2, this is it is a more difficult paper, and it consists of an answer booklet and then a separate reading paper. So it also involves the children being able to move from one paper to the other, which is a skill in itself. So we use our teacher judgment there, and if a child is finding this paper a little bit tricky, then we can't stop them. And like paper 1, it says it could take 40 minutes, but again, it's not strictly timed, so there's no timings on them. In reading, the assessment, it covers a range of poetry, fiction and non-fiction, and again, they are things that we are consistently doing in school to ensure the children have lots of coverage of those skills.
So the types of questions that might be in reading papers, they cover a real range, and these are the type of skills that we are practicing within school now just to prepare them. So some of the questions may be multiple choice, perhaps they have to rank or order something in order of something that's happening within the text. They might have to match, so it says match the character to the job that they do in the story. Some things might ask them to label, find and copy a word. They'll have to go and hunt through what they've just read and copy a word that they are looking for. It might just be a short answer, and some are slightly more open-ended, where they have to give reasons. And for example, this one says give 2 reasons. So we're teaching the children to read the questions really carefully so they know exactly what they are looking for in the text, and they'll refer back to the text as they go.
Okay, so this is just a sample from a reading paper 1. So you can see there, just short snippets of text, and then followed by some of those sample questions. So in paper 1, there's a snippet of text and then some questions, and then they do the next piece of text. So the stamina of the children, they feel like they can achieve that quite easily, which is really good. So again, just some of those. So taking one of the answers there. And then what did Molly think was magic? So we're encouraging them to think of that key word with magic, and then go back and skim and scan through the text to find that answer.
So yeah, here are some more sample questions. For example, ticking one. This question 9 is an example of having to match. So it'll say draw 3 lines to show where Molly was playing each day. So they have to link, and these types of skills like matching or ticking one or giving reasons, we are doing in school at the moment. So hopefully these will be quite familiar looking questions to them.
Okay, and this is just a sample of a reading paper too. Now, as you can see, there is quite a lot more text in the reading paper too. And again, the children do have to have quite a bit more stamina to read all of the text. Again, we tell them just to read a bit, go and look for keywords in the questions and go and answer the questions bit by bit, as opposed to trying to read it all at once. So again, over on questions 7 and 8, you will see just some more question types. So find and copy one word. Now, it's all of those things that are so important that they really read and they take note of, because if they were to tick 2, for example, then it's only asked for 1. So it's making sure that they're answering the question asked.
Yeah, and then just to add, at the top it just says that they're looking for pages 6 and 8. So we're kind of teaching them to go and find those pages, because for these questions they'll need these certain pages. So it's just teaching them those skills for paper 2. Then the grammar, punctuation and spelling. And the assessment consists of 2 separate papers. Paper 1 just focuses on the spelling, and we'll show you some examples in a moment, but pupils will spell 20 missing words from a sentence. The paper is expected to take approximately 15 minutes, but once again, it's not strict timing. And then paper 2 is grammar, punctuation and vocabulary. So it's a combined question and answer booklet, again, focusing on their knowledge of grammar, punctuation and vocabulary, which we are practicing in school, of course, as well. So pupils will have roughly 20 minutes to complete the questions. Once again, it's not strict timing.
So there you can see an example of the spelling paper. How that is delivered is we say the sentence. So we say what the word is, and then we say the sentence, and then we say the word again. And then where the blank space is, then they have to put in the missing word. Okay, so they have to spell that word in all of them. So again, we would just take it nice and steady, and we would repeat if needed.
And so this is just an example of paper 2, the grammar, punctuation and vocabulary sample questions. So for example, why do the underlined words start with a capital letter? And then they've just got a couple of lines just to, in full sentences, just give a reason as to why they think these words have capital letters. Question 8 is asking them to circle 2 nouns in the sentence below. They will read it themselves and then they will circle. Once again, if they circle, say, more than 2, then we wouldn't be able to mark it, because they are looking specifically for the fact that there should be 2. And that's the type of skills that we're helping them to look for.
Okay, and again, that's just another sample question. So the past tense and present tense, and that's something actually this week that we're looking at particularly is the past tense. So again, just another skill that they're learning, just to tick 1 and to really read those sentences.
Yeah, just some more sample questions for you, which you can see, just showing you different types of questions and what they might be doing. So it might be matching, it might be ticking 1 word that needs to go in the missing sentence. So there's just some more examples for you to see.
Okay, so moving on to maths then. Again, there are 2 papers. Paper 1 is the arithmetic paper, and this one covers all the calculation methods for the operations. So the 4 operations being addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, and the children will use strategies that they've been learning to work out all of their answers. Again, the timings, they're not strict on that, so your child can take as long as they need. Paper 2 is the reasoning paper. Now in this paper there's a lot of problem solving, and you will just be able to pause there and have a little read of the things that your child should be able to do in order to be successful at this paper. Again, it says 35 minutes, but please don't worry about that. And there's also just some oral questions at the beginning, which they just listen carefully and they write the answers to.
So just some examples of a paper 1 arithmetic question. They all have kind of that chunk underneath where we really encourage them to show their workings out. This is things that we do within school. So we'll ask them to just, even if it is a question that they know off the top of their head, just really encourage them to record how they would show that, because it's really good to see what methods they are using and what strategies they are using to help them. Yeah, so just more example questions. Some of them might be missing numbers where we're so used to giving a number sentence and working out the answer, but actually a lot of what we're doing now in school as well is giving them a slightly different looking number sentence where they're finding a missing number, and so they're using both addition and subtraction to help out, for example, in this question here.
Okay, now you will see that these questions are a slightly different style, and they are the problem-solving questions and reasoning. So you can see there's two types, and they just have to read the questions and then complete tables. And then this style question is also a little trickier. So it's a two-step word problem. And again, they've got a really big box there to show the workings out. And that is something that is a skill that they really have to practice. So again, we're putting those sorts of questions into our lessons all the time now.
And in this one, for example, there's 2 marks awarded. So even if they don't necessarily get the correct answer, if we can see their workings out, and that's really helpful to see. So more examples, this question 10 here. Some of them will be broken up, so you can see there's an A and B answer. Yeah, so you can just see a bit more about the types of questions that we are looking at. And we write, there's written in bold just some of those keywords. So we are teaching those keywords as well.
Okay, now science, there's not actually a SATs paper for science, but at the end of the year, science is teacher assessed. So we will look at all your child's learning from the year, and we will decide whether they're working towards that standard or working at the expected standard. And we've just outlined our units of learning there for the year, as you can see, and we are moving through those nicely, and they're really enjoying them.
Yeah, so you can pause this video and have a proper read of this slide here. This is just showing you a bit about the assessment and reporting and the scaled scores. So it's planned that 100 will always represent the national standard, so the expectation. Each pupil's raw scores will therefore be converted into a score on that scale, either at, above or below that 100 mark. The scale will have a lower end point, somewhere below 100, and an upper end point, which is above 100. And a child who achieves the national standard, which is a score of 100, will be judged as having shown the areas where that needed to the expectation. And then a child who achieves a significant score above that 100 will be deemed to be exceeding, so can work at a greater depth level.
Okay, so just thinking about how you can help at home, and we really appreciate the support that you give to practice their spellings and their times tables and also the weekly homework. We just wanted you to be aware that it is normal practice for the children to complete assessments, so they are quite used to it. We call them quizzes, and yeah, we just encourage you to support them as much as you can at home. Obviously, best attendance at school is really helpful, and for your child to be here for all those key skills. Completing the weekly homework and ensuring those spellings and times tables are being practiced. Spelling Shed and Times Table Rockstar are really good resources to practice those on, and really enjoyable for your child. And also the daily reading. So this is really important. So in order for them to become fluent in their reading, we really encourage daily reading. And this is something that we do speak to the children about as well. Just something which I'm sure you all do when you're reading with your child is to talk about, the characters, the plot, their opinions, and can they tell you why they might be feeling like that, and the characters. All different questioning based around their book is all really helpful to support their skills. So for home learning, we are currently sending out homework on Teams. And it's a maths weekly homework. From next week, we are going to be introducing some home learning materials. Now, as a school, we have bought some Key Stage 1 SATs comprehension books, and we're going to be sending home the English reading book and also the maths, the arithmetic book. And we will set homework on Teams every week and tell you what page we would like your children to complete that week. We will send the booklets home on a Friday, and we would expect them back then the following Wednesday, ready for marking. We will be starting that, like I said, next week, and we will be sending out some more information just to clarify all of that.
So thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions, then please feel free to let us know. We'd love to chat to you more in detail. If there's anything that you weren't sure about or anything that we've missed off, do let us know, and we're really happy to chat through anything. But all your children are working really hard. We're really impressed with all of the work that they are doing, and I'm sure that they'll continue to make progress. But do let us know if you have any questions at all. Thank you.